Hello friends, I am Sampurnanand Rakecha from Government College Jetaran. Today we are going to start Act 3. Scene 1 is little longer, more than 100 lines. So I would like to break it at line 93. So the first part of this scene that we are going to study today is from line 1 to 93. This is very interesting scene, and we have in the beginning Voila and the clown talking to each other. The scene, the location is Olivia's garden. In fact, the fool was already there, the clown was already there, and Voila goes to see Olivia. And so Voila comes across the fool and see what Voila speaks. Save thee, friend, and thy music. Dost thou live by thy tabor? So there was a small drum with the clown, and so Voila asks if he earned his living by singing or say by playing on the drum. Clown, now sir, I live by the church. We know that the clown is very witty, and so he is expert in talking. So he answers, no, he lives by the church. So this means that he lives near the church. Look at the contrast. Voila is asking a different question. Voila is saying, do you earn your living by this drum? But now the fool is taking in another sense. By means near. So he says, no, I live by the church. Then Voila asks, Voila, art thou a churchman? So if you live by the church, means are you working in the church? Because you get your earning from the church. Clown, no such matter, sir. Clown says, no, I am not a clergyman. I do live by the church. Means I live near the church. For I do live at my house. So I live at my house, but my house is near the church. And my house doth stand by the church. And so the location of my house is near the church. So this all, witty discussion is on the use of this word by. Voila. So thou mayest say, the king lies by a beggar if a beggar dwells near him, or the church stands by the tabor if thy tabor stand by the church. So Voila is again witty, and she says, okay, if a king lives near a beggar, then if the house of a beggar is near the king, then can you say that the king lies by a beggar? Or if your tabor, means if your drum is standing near the church, then can you say that the church stands near your tabor? So this, the clown can understand that his wit is getting answer. Clown, you have said, sir, to see this age. To see this age means how clever are we nowadays. A sentence is but a cheveril. So a sentence is what? It is a cheveril. I will explain. Let me complete the sentence first. Cheveril, glove to a good wit. So the clown says the sentence is like a glove made by very soft skin. So it can be turned. How quickly the wrong side may be turned outward. So a sentence can have a different meaning if the speaker is very clever. Voila. Nay, that is certain. They that dally nicely with words may quickly make them wanton. So in this statement of Voila, dally means play. Those who play with words, they make them wanton. Wanton means loose. Then the words lose their meaning. Oh, clown. I would therefore my sister had no name, sir. Voila. Why, man? Clown. Why, sir? Her name is a word. And to Delhi means play with word. Uh, that word might make my sister wanton. Now the clown has taken another proof that okay, I will not give name of my sister because if I use that word, then that will become loose. But indeed, words are rascals since bonds disgraced them. So, but the clown agrees that okay, words are very naughty because the context in which they are used may be graceful or disgraceful. Clown. Troth, sir, I can yield you none without words, and words are grown so false I am loath to prove reason with them. So the clown says, yes, sir, I agree with your truth that you don't get anything without words, but yes, words also grow falsely, means they create a wrong image of somebody. So I hate to prove reason with them, so reason cannot be proved with words. Voila, I warrant thou art a merry fellow and carest for nothing. Voila says that I understand that you are a jolly fellow and you don't care for anything. Clown. Not so, sir. I do care for something. So the clown says, no, I am not at all a carefree person, but I do care for something. But in my conscience, sir, I do not care for you. So the clown says that he doesn't care for Voila, who is acting as Cesario. If that be to care for nothing, sir, I would, it would make you invisible. So he says, I don't, I have many other things to look after, to care, but okay, if it relates to you, I don't care anything about you. Even if you become invisible, I don't care for it. Voila. Art not thou Lady Olivia's fool? So, fool means clown. And it is Feste, his name is. Okay, so Voila is asking, are you not the clown of in the court of Lady Olivia? Clown. No, indeed, sir. The Lady Olivia has no folly. So because Lady Olivia has no mistakes, therefore I am not a fool. She will keep no fool, sir, till she be married. So she will not keep any fool till she is married, because the real fool would be the husband. And fools are like husbands, as pilchards are two herrings, and the husbands are, like fools. Just as there is no difference between pilchards and herrings, because both of them are small fish. The husband is the bigger, and the husband is somewhat bigger than the pilchard. I am indeed not her fool, but her corrupter of words. But I corrupt her words. That is, I take another meaning of her words. And this is what the fool has been doing. And now, in future also, you have to be very careful how the fool plays upon the words. Voila. I saw the late at Count Orsino's. So Voila says that okay, last time she had seen the fool at the court of Count Orsino. Clown. Foolery, sir, does walk about the orb like the sun. So he says, my business, my job is that of a fool, means a clown. And so I also walk around like the sun, just as the sun moves in its orbit, it shines everywhere. So I delight everyone with my foolery. I'd be sorry, sir, but the fool should be as oft with your master as with my mistress. I think I saw your wisdom there. So he says, the fool must be with Orsino, the fool, must be with Olivia because it will be better for both of them. And I had seen your wisdom there, means I have learnt about you from there. Voila, nay, and thou pass upon me, I will no more with thee. So Voila complains that, okay, if you attack me like this with your wit, then I will not keep your company with you. Hold, there is a sixpence for thee. Sixpence, as I have earlier explained, is a very small price, is a small coin, which is almost nothing. So gives a piece of money to clown. Clown. Now Jav is God. In his next commodity of hair, send thee with a beard. So the clown, because he has been given a coin by Cesario, in disguise Cesario, so the clown gives a blessing to Cesario and he says, okay, may God give you a beard. Voila, by my troth, I will tell thee, I am almost sick for one, though I would not have it grow on my chin. Is thy lady within? So Voila says, okay, as far as beard is concerned, I don't want a beard for me. So and moreover, I would not grow my beard on my chin, so I don't like beard. Is your lady Olivia within, means inside? Clown, pointing to the coin. Would not a pair of these have bread, sir? So he looks at the coin and he says, okay, will this coin not give birth to another coin? So this is a witty way in which the clown asks Voila to give him one more coin. Voila. Yes, being kept together and put to use. So Voila is equally competent to answer the clown's question, and she says, okay, if you want to if you want this crown, this coin to give birth to children, okay, lend it out on interest, and it will, when put use to it, so it will multiply. Clown, I would play Lord Pandarus of Phrygia, sir, to bring a Cressida to this Troilus. So the clown gives reference to the Greek story, Greek and the Troy story, the story belonging to Troy, about Homer and his Iliad and all that. So the story there is that Troilus loved Cressida, but there was a person called Pandarus of Phrygia who facilitated love affair between Troilus and Cressida. So he says, okay, this is one coin and I will find another partner for the coin, so that the coins will start giving birth to more coins. Voila, I understand you, sir, it is well begged. So Voila says, okay, you have begged this coin from me with your cleverness, so I understand. The clown. Clown says, the matter, I hope, is not great, sir, begging but a beggar. I stop here and I explain this line. The matter means the request. I hope is not great. The request is not great, sir, begging but a beggar. Cressida was also a beggar. So such a great personality also turned out into a beggar. That is another story, because due to her infidelity, she was turned into a beggar by the gods. My lady is within, sir. I will consider to them whence you come, who you are, and what you would are out of my wakin. Wakin means out of my sphere, out of my scope. I might say element, but the word is overborne. So he said, okay, Welkin means sphere or sky. So he says, I might also say element, but the word has been used for a long time. Therefore, I would just go and introduce uh, my madam, my lady, about your arrival. So he goes, voila. This fellow is wise enough to play the fool. I guess there is nobody hearing what Voila is saying. So this type of speech is called soliloquy. 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 So this speech of Voila is a type of comment on the art and craft of being a clown. So let's understand this. This fellow is wise enough. This fellow is used for feste, means the clown, is wise enough to play the fool. So he is very intelligent how to act as the fool. So being born fool is different, but if you are witty, you are intelligent, but still you can cause humor, and you know where to cause humor. So that is an art. And to do that well craves a kind of wit, and do this type of business, this type of foolery is a kind of art, and it requires a kind of wit. He must observe means see their mood on whom he jests means joking. So he must see the mood of the people with whom he is going to joke, the quality of person, and moreover the character of the person and the time, at which time he is joking. And like the haggard check at every feather that comes before his eye. Haggard is an untrained hawk. Hawks are trained to hunt birds in the sky, but when it is being trained, every bird must be checked by the trainee hawk, because he doesn't know what is it. So that comes before his eyes, so he must check it. So the same job is here for the clown, that any person he comes across, he have to try his art, but then he must be careful about it. This is a practice as full of labor as a wise man's art. So this is definitely the art of a wise person, where to joke, how to joke, and with whom to joke, for folly that he wisely shows his fit. Because even if he tries to prove himself fool, but he does it very intelligently. But wise man's folly fallen quite taint their wit. But if wise people, if they indulge in foolery, then this puts a stigma on their intelligence. So this is a scar, this is a bad name for their intelligence. Enter Sir Toby Belch and Sir Andrew Aguchick. Sir Toby, save you gentlemen, voila. And you, sir, this is a type of exchange of greetings. Sir Andrew, Dai vous garde, monsieur. This is French, which means, Mr. May God keep you. Sir Andrew Aguchick is trying to impress voila with his French. So voila also answers in French. Voila says, et vous aussi, votre servitude, means you also, means God keep you also, I am your servant. Sir Andrew, because Sir Andrew knows only this much French, so the next conversation comes to English. Sir Andrew, I hope, sir, you are and I am yours. So he says, okay, sir, you are a gentleman and I am yours. I means this is again exchange of greetings and niceties. Okay, Sir Toby's speech. Will you encounter the house? Now this is a play upon the word. Sir Toby wants to say to enter the house. My niece is desirous you should enter if your trade be to her. So Sir Toby is all the time, encouraging Sir Andrew Aguchick to meet his niece. But the niece does not want to see or entertain this fellow. Voila, I am bound to your niece, sir. Voila is speaking to Toby, and she says, I am bound to meet your niece, sir. I mean, she is the list of my voyage. Means she is the target, she is the destination of my journey. I have come to see her. So, sir, now look at the next witty speech of Sir Toby and how he gets the answer from Voila. Sir Toby, taste your legs, sir, put them to motion. Voila, my legs do better understand me, sir. Then I understand what you mean by bidding me taste my legs. So look at the clever, the pun upon words. Sir Toby uses the spelling, T-A-S-T-E. Taste means chakh ke dekho. But here he wants to say T-E-S-T. Test means try. Try your legs, sir. Put them to motion means get lost, go away. Trust your heels. So this is very insulting remark. So Voila says, okay, my legs do better understand me, sir. Then I understand what you mean by asking me to taste my legs. She says, I can test my legs. So see the difference between these two words. Sir Toby, I mean to go, sir, to enter. So Sir Toby again clarifies. He says, okay, by asking you to go, I want you to enter inside. Means enter the chamber of Voila. Sorry, the chamber of Olivia. And now Voila again responds Sir Toby very heavily. I will answer you with gate and entrance, but we are prevented. So Voila says, okay, she could answer her, she is using the word gate, G-A-I-T, in place of G-A-T, gate and entrance. So she says, okay, I can answer this foolery of yours, but okay, but we are anticipated. She uses the word prevented, but she uses the word anticipated, means somebody is waiting for her to see. Okay, and because Olivia is coming out, so they won't have to go in. That is why she doesn't go in. Enter Olivia and Maria. Voila continues her speech. Most excellent, accomplished lady, the heavens rain orders on you. So most excellent, excellent, very good, accomplished means well dressed and with all qualities of wisdom and intelligence, all that. The heavens, she wishes that the gods drop good smell on her. Sir Andrew, that youth is a rare courtier. Rain orders well. So Sir Andrew is surprised by the expression of Voila and he says he is a courtier, but this is different kind of courtier, very unique one. Voila, my matter hath no voice, lady, but to your own most pregnant and vouchsafed ear. So by this request, my matter means my request has no voice, lady, but I can speak to you only to your pregnant ear, means to your resourceful ear, and to your secure ears, means so that others don't hear me. Sir Andrew, orders pregnant and vouchsafed, I will get them all three already. So Sir Andrew is, baffled by the use of these words. He doesn't get the meaning out of them. Olivia, let the garden's door be shut and leave me to my hearing. And Olivia orders other people to leave her alone, and so the garden gate should be shut so that she can discuss the matter in private with Olivia, with Voila. And to Voila she speaks, give me your hand, sir. And that is all for today, friends. We shall meet you for the remaining part of scene 1, Act 3. Thank you, friends.